Hello, hey, hi, everybody. My name is Courtney Leach Hensley, and we are gonna do another get ready with me. So my bangs get sprouted off the top, and my hair gets caught in my piercings. Love it. So today is podcast day, so that's why my lighting is a little not quite as bright, but I got a quick get ready. So I thought this would be a perfect opportunity to do that. I also have this new shirt that I think is so adorable. So yeah, let's do this. I'm actually gonna, look, they've got the cute thumb holes. Love that. But for the purpose of makeup, let's just kind of pull these up a little bit. So I'm gonna get my base face ready here. And what I do for that typically is two layers of CCTM. I usually do one layer, honestly, on my forehead because I have bangs. I don't really feel it necessary to do 2 layers because nobody's really going to see them. CCTM is a color correcting tinted moisturizer. I am not a girl that likes a really thick or full coverage. And even with Synagents, honestly, like nothing ever really feels thick. I just also really like how the CCTM, how it looks on my skin. So it's another reason why I use it. I used to be the girl that did a heavier coverage in the wintertime. Being from Michigan, I don't know, it just kind of made sense, I guess, to do a fuller, more like foundation look in the wintertime, and then, you know, do your tinted moisturizer in the summer. Especially in the summer with it being so humid. Nobody really likes to have, you know, a butt ton of layers on. Look at that, like it's just such a soft, beautiful, natural finish. And I love using this kabuki brush. Yeah, it's dirty. I've used it. Use it this week. Today is brush cleaning day, so that's why it's a little worse for wear, if you will. But I got this off of Amazon. It was like one of the best purchases I have made because it really just helps this go on so easily. And I've been, when I say like for 3 years that I've been doing Synagents, I have been looking for a brush that I really liked. There it is. And to be honest, like I had been eyeing it for a while and was just not willing to pull the trigger, and I don't know why. I don't know why. But I finally did, and I absolutely love it. So now my question is, with my products that I have, why I don't have my highlight and contour. What? Okay, I definitely need to figure out where that crap's at because I feel like the last time I used it, it was in here. It's in my studio. But now I can't. Huh. Alright, so let's improvise. As like I frantically look around. Good lord, what could I have done with it? Ugh. Well, that is gonna be most definitely annoying and bothersome. So today I'm gonna do, so with the colors on here, they are kind of more like a warm toned red, pink, whatever you want to call it. So I am gonna do a berry look. Berry has been like really super popular since the fall. I'm actually, I don't want to say I'm surprised, like it is a great option if you're somebody who doesn't like a lot of red, or like red is just a scary color to you. If burgundies aren't exactly your favorite color or you feel look the best on you, berry is a spectacular option for that. You guys, like I legit am missing a whole slew of products. I wonder if I ended up leaving them in with all the stuff that I used last time. So those of you that are watching, did you see my sea witchery makeup look that I did last? That was a fun look. Like I love things like that. I'm a huge fan of themes. Obviously I'm doing a berry look, so as much as I love 5-minute faces and like let's get ready quick kind of things, when it comes down to it, If it's got a theme, ready to do it. Just a heads up, folks, if you hear any noise or yelling in the background, my husband is playing Call of Duty again. And as most men, when it comes to this game, they get very, very excited and very into it. And that is most definitely him. All right, so I can't really find what I'm looking for. So we are just going to try to hope for the best. And I just realized too, I didn't color correct before I did my CCTM. It is better to do it before you put your either tinted moisturizer on or your foundation. However, you can go over it because color correcting, really what it's doing is neutralizing the undertone. And even with a foundation or a tinted moisturizer, you're still going to see that undertone underneath. So it's still okay to go over and get it done. Which, I don't know, lately that has been me. I've been like, oh yeah, I totally forgot to neutralize these under eyes. And then, I mean, if you want to, just to feel more comfortable, just take your brush and just dab on what you have left on that brush under your eye area. So let's get to doing some, actually we're going to put this on our finger, highlighting and contouring. I'm just using Shadow Sense from Senegence. I do have a highlight and contour kit that is no longer available. I just love, because I love the sheen. The finish of the product is more of like a satin, so you're not getting like a shimmer, but it's also not a matte. And I really do love that. So I'm just going to take Sandstone Pearl, because I do like a lighter under eye. I don't know, like that might be old school. I'm not sure. But also, like, I've seen a lot of people, and I get it, like, I get what you're doing, I get what the purpose is behind it, where they're like, if you're over 40, only you put your concealer here and here because it's going to age you if you don't. And I wholeheartedly disagree with that. Because here's the thing. Product over wrinkles, fine lines, are going to be emphasized no matter what. So it really doesn't matter if you're putting the product only here and here. If you have fine lines and wrinkles right there, you're still going to notice it because you have product over there. Really, the biggest thing that is going to help you look younger is really good skincare. And I'm a huge proponent of skincare. Let's get some highlight here, because lately I've been forgetting that. Again, because I have my bangs down, I'm not really going to worry about going onto my forehead. But here we go. It's not as noticeable. Sandstone Pearl on me, because I am quite fair, is really, really close to my skin tone, so it's not something that you're going to notice as much. Let me see if I can find, I've got a brush in here. Probably should have been a little bit more prepared, so I do apologize, and I'm sure that noise is really super annoying. So I've got this brush. It's a shadow brush, but it's like really, really fluffy. And again, yes, I know it's dirty, but it's only for me. But I like this because it really does help diffuse any lines of demarcation. It really will help blend it. So, I mean, it's good for your eyes or to use as your highlight brush. And I'm going to use my favorite brush that I got. It's an e.l.f. brush, and it's literally just called a contour brush. It makes contouring so simple. I'm going to use French Toast. This is quite a bit warmer than what I would choose to use, especially in the winter, because when you're contouring, you are trying to create a shadow, not bronze your face up, I guess. And when you're using a bronzer, it can tend to make your skin look muddy, I guess is the best way to describe it. So I literally just had a color, and I'm not really sure where I put it. So I was going to mix Canyon with it because it does have quite a bit of a gray base, and it was originally what I thought was going to be the best option for a contour, but it ended up being just too gray, and I couldn't. I had to mix it with something. But we're going to get some French Toast on here. We might be a little extra bronzy. Another reason, or I guess usually when I'm teaching how to contour, and the colors to choose. First, when you're contouring, so your cheekbone is here, you want to apply the color above it because as you blend it out, you can see it kind of has come down here a little bit. If you're starting right at the base of your cheekbone, then you're gonna have to worry about it being like too far down, and then you have to be like, oh, here, let me do that. If there's any kind of glitch, guys, I do apologize. I just got a notification on my computer that it needs a stable internet, and my modem is like literally right behind me, so I'm hoping that there wasn't too much trouble. So, alrighty. And I'm just applying it right to the bottom of my brush too, because then it makes it easier to apply. So it's gonna be quite bronzy. And then when you're applying it, apply it up into the temple and then along the hairline. On this side, I don't usually go up too high, mainly because I have bangs, so I just don't feel the need to do a whole lot of makeup. And then right along the nose area. So I know contouring noses can be like really scary and it can come off as really overly complicated, but you just go like this, and you just go like this, and you can call it a day. Especially if you're not someone that is, sorry, there's cat hair everywhere today. If you're not someone that really wants to get like too into contouring, you just want to kind of create a nice little shadow or whatever, then you don't need to do all the extra stuff. Let me push my hair back here, and I'm just gonna get underneath this double chin that has popped up since marriage. I was like, I'm not gonna be that bride that gains all this weight in her first year of marriage. And then I went back into the corporate world and didn't make it to the gym. Next thing I knew, I was that bride. I feel like I need just a little bit more on this side. So I'm just taking my leftovers. So there we go. We are just lightly highlighted and contoured. Just kind of fix that up. You know what? I do see that this side is a little bit darker. Another thing you can do, kind of dot it on. I was not expecting this to be quite the tutorial that it is, guys. But hey, welcome. So I was asking a friend of mine, my work bestie Elaine, like what I should talk about today as I'm doing the makeup and kind of explaining things. And she was like, well, have you thought about doing 50 things about me? The answer, of course, was no. But, kind of makes sense, seeing as how my last episode I talked how I got into the makeup industry, so why not talk about me more on this one? So let's do that. I only got to 40 things this morning because I was like, oh, well, I'll just talk and just kind of like wing it. And then I was like, no, maybe you should actually like come up with things. So I did, and also just found that color that I wanted. Oh my gosh, my brain this morning it's not early, but it's so early for me. Oh my gosh. I guess, okay, here's one thing about me. I work first shift with a second shift body and sleep schedule. I thrived on second shift, but when you have a home and a child and, somebody that you need to take care of, it's a lot harder to do second shift. So now I'm on first shift and I am just so tired all the time. So that's one thing. What I'm going to do real quick here is we're just going to kind of swatch some colors. So I was thinking of Fireside Fig. I haven't really used this too much, and I'm just kind of looking for an excuse to use it. I feel like Raspberry Glaze would be good because also the name is raspberry and we're talking about berries, so it makes sense. The look that I found on Pinterest that was berries, it's stunning. Like, I love it, and it's matte. I'm not like, I like matte, but your girl likes shimmery things. So that's kind of like why I wanted to add the Raspberry Glaze. This right here is a new product from Synagence. What is it called? It's part of the Glowify line. I can't remember what it's called. What are you called? Berry Whip. Again, berry, so it's perfect. I'm still trying to figure out how to use this product, and it comes with like a glitter. And I like it. This might be a really good cheek color because there's also a picture that I saw again on Pinterest, and like the cheek color was just stunning. So I might actually use that for my cheeks, which means I need to have, ooh, you guys. Okay, I think I know what I'm gonna do. I am gonna use Let's see. Do I like this with it? No, that's too dark. So this was the color I was going to use to help contour. You know what? I think actually I am going to use what I used to highlight my face. Sandstone Pearl. I would do Sandstone Pearl Shimmer. That might be too much, but let me find it real quick. Yeah, guys, I know, probably should have been way more prepared for this than what I am, so I do apologize again. Oh, I guess I don't have Sandstone Pearl Shimmer. That seems to be another one of my colors that just kind of wandered off. Ooh, no, you might be too bright. I was thinking pink. So like raspberry, or not raspberries, but the berry trend in general. Very popular. As I said, it is a great option. Sorry, if you're somebody who likes reds but is intimidated, or you just don't really feel that reds look great on you, or sometimes lighter skin tones don't, I guess if you don't have like the right undertone in your makeup. So that can sometimes make it difficult to feel like you're pulling off a red, because I really do feel that anybody can wear red. Like it's just such a good color. I really feel like everybody can. Berries are also a good option if you can't do wine or you don't like to do wine. Like I love wine colored eyeshadows, lip colors, etc. But I just do not feel like I can pull it off. So going with a berry toned color just makes me feel like I'm pulling it off way better. So I did Fire, and then I'm gonna take Sandstone Pearl and just kind of like blend it into that middle. I'm gonna tap it down, fluff it right here, and then I'm gonna take Raspberry Glaze and put that in the middle here. Get that shimmer right there in the middle of the eye for just like, see how much it brightened my eye up? Just a really good pop of color. And actually, I'm sure you guys can hear my poor little cat crying out there because she thinks I abandoned her. Usually I'm like up against the door, so I can just be like, pull it open for him. But I wanted to try a solid wall, try something different. And now my spoiled cats just can't handle themselves. I do want to make this corner just a little bit darker, going in with a second layer of the Fireside Fig, just to add some more depth and dimension. And with this being a cream to powder finish, yes, it can get crazy. As we can see, I've got quite a bit down there. So before it dries, I'm just going to take my finger, clean that off, grab my brush again, pull underneath what I actually want. And then you can also take the brush that you used with your concealer and or highlight and just get in there. And then if you remember from last time, I do have hooded-esque eyelids because of genetics, which my mom luckily is finally getting hers operated on. But I gotta wait till mine gets significantly worse, and I don't know if that'll happen for it to not be considered cosmetic. So, all right, let's get back into the 50 things about me. Sorry, I said G. I am an only child. Most people who hear that are like, not surprised. I have 2 kids. I also have 2 grandkids. Yep, grandkids. 2 boys. From my oldest. I am a military brat. I grew up in the Navy. My dad was, oh gosh, I don't even know. He was in the military. He was in the Navy before I was born, before my parents met. Did his 4 years, I believe, and then got out. And then after I was born, went back in. Military has always been something that he's wanted to do. So I was actually kind of surprised that he had gotten out at one point. But yeah, once I was born, and I'm sure many reasons, he decided to go back in. And then he was in, I don't know, about 8 years or so. Then he couldn't retire, but he got out. the job that he had required him to be able to hear sonar, and us leeches tend to lose our hearing at an early age. So he ended up, instead of like trying to find a different position within the military, just when his contract was up, he decided to get out. And my mom really missed her family, so he was like, I guess it's time. There was a joke within our family for the longest time that my mom made him get out, but that really wasn't the case. And as you saw, I just added a little bit more of the raspberry glaze to this side. I'm just gonna tap that down. So I guess at this point now I'm at 42 because I talked about hearing loss. It's like in our 30s, I swear, we start to not be able to hear like the high pitched noises and things like that. I did not get married until I was 44. First marriage, 44. Which I know for some people that would probably be like, oh my gosh, why'd you wait so long? Have you seen what's out there? And honestly, the universe really wanted us to meet because my husband was trying to tow my car. And I came out and I was like, what are you doing? Like, I was such a brat. Because I just didn't want to pay the fee. But I got to him before he got it hooked up, so I didn't have to worry about that. So yeah, first marriage at 44. Still married. Happily. Some days that's debatable. Anybody who's been married, I'm sure, can relate to that. Let's see how it looks. Let's see. In 6th grade, I was in 3 different schools that year. It was like right after I started. We moved to Arizona, or back to Arizona. Guess we couldn't get there before the school year started. And it was back in the early 90s, and the economy in Arizona was just trash. Like, it was awful. So we were only there for 5 months, and we moved back up here. And when we moved back up here, my parents couldn't find housing, affordable housing in the school district, which was really weird because it's like the city school district, and people that live there really don't have a whole lot. So we ended up having to go to a different school district, and yeah, so 3 schools in 6th grade. Let's just say by the time we hit that school, I like did not care anymore. Like, I was so over trying to make friends and everything that I gave up. So all right, here's eyes. This is actually really pretty. I know. Like I said, this is really the first time I've like played with Fireside Fig, which is that outer corner color. So now I'm going to use this Berry Whip for my cheeks, and it is the texture. When I first heard about it, all I could think about was Dream Matte Mousse. Anybody remember that? Because they call it a mousse and a whip, and that's all I could think about. There is a glitter right in here. See that? I don't know if it will continue to have a glitter, but it does for now. So it's kind of on the tacky side. So we saw how long ago I tapped that on here. Look, it's still sticky. So I have some reservations about it, I will be completely honest. But I have noticed too, like if you keep working at it, it ends up lifting. So we're just going to kind of see what kind of nonsense we can get into with this guy. A lot of people have said they like it better for their lips, which I have. I did use this as a lip color on somebody for some headshots, and it was really, really pretty. And I thought about using it for lip today, but I really want to try this roseberry that I got. So yeah, so I'm going to put it on this stipple brush. I'm kind of just wiping it on there. We're going to see what happens. And color-wise, it's really pretty. I feel like I need a bigger stipple brush though. Alright, let's get back to the 50 things. Well, at this point, 42 things about me. Oh yeah, for the blush, you know what? We're just going to have a little bit of fun. And I'm going to bring it up. So I'm sure you guys have noticed that trend with blushes, which there are quite a few trends, like winter trends with blush that I just was not expecting. Like, it is like kind of becoming a powerhouse right now. So we're just going to pull that kind of up here a little bit. Alright, so I am a survivor of domestic violence, narcissistic abuse, some other things we don't really need to get into. I have an angel baby. I lost my second child at 16 weeks in utero. So my youngest, my son, is my angel, or not my angel. Yeah, is it angel baby? Or rainbow baby? Yeah, rainbow baby. That was definitely an interesting time in my life. Sorry, I decided to apply this a different way just to see what would happen. I am also a recovering alcoholic. I was like 10 years sober, I think. Fell off the wagon. Also had a mental breakdown in that amount of time. And then I've been back on the wagon. Actually, my husband and I both are. At our wedding, we had people ask if, granted, we had a very, very small wedding. I had people ask if we were going to have alcohol. No. But also because I'm not going to pay for you to get drunk. So we were both kind of, I don't want to say adamant, but we were just like, if you want booze, you can do that yourself. But also, like I said, where we were at, it was a small wedding, and then where we were at, we would need like a liquor license, and that was not something I really felt like paying for either. I do have my cosmetology license. So I do kind of know what I'm talking about when it comes to hair, makeup, and skin, because I did go to school for it. I'm not just on here being like, oh, this is what you should do. I do kind of know what I'm talking about. I have makeup credits as well as an acting credit on Internet Media Database. If you don't know what Internet Media Database is, it's a website, imdb.com, and that's where like actors, producers, writers, directors, anybody that has anything to do with a production has their credits on there. I don't have all of my makeup credits because some of them, I'm not really sure how many episodes I worked on, and the person that like updates it and stuff hasn't added me to it. Yeah, so actually, you know what? Here, I'm not the biggest fan of this trend, but let's just, for shits and giggles, let's just go ahead and do that. And then I do have an acting one out there. Also, everything is with my maiden name because, again, like I said, I was 44 before I got married. So that's why I also introduced myself using my maiden name. But yeah, so my acting credit was they needed somebody, the person that was supposed to be the drunk girlfriend for the film credit or film school, college credit, that project that I did. So I got to tap into a past life and I got to be a drunk girlfriend. Basically, I just stumbled in, but I got the credit. So I was like, oh, look at me. Let's see what else. I was this close to being in a band. A friend of mine asked me to be the singer in a band that he was putting together, and because of fear and not thinking that I was good enough, I never really pursued it. And my son yells at me every day for not doing that. Why didn't you do that, Mom? Why didn't you do that? Because it's called fear. I panicked and I just didn't really do anything with it. As I mentioned earlier, and I mentioned in my last video, I am a podcast co-host, which we are gonna have to do a short podcast today. Goodness gracious. It's called Two Basic Housewives, and we joke about how like we're not basic unless it's like the fall, and we're not really housewives. But let me tell you, Kai, who's my co-host, she is. And it's so funny because she will be like, no, no, no. And then she's over here, making homemade cornbread or corn muffins for like work, for her kids, all the things. And I'm just like, so podcast co-host. I try not to let this be like who I am and what I talk about all the time, but I am living with metastatic breast cancer. It's been almost 6 years since I was re-diagnosed. I was diagnosed 7 years ago with stage 2, and then 13 months later was stage 4. So I obviously, it already had moved to stage 4 before I was diagnosed, so that's why I already count it. I've been living with that for 6 years. We like to call ourselves thrivers instead of survivors because we are just living with it. So there's that. I have 5 cats. I am the crazy cat lady. All of my cats I call them Viking cats, and I did have like an Instagram. It's still there. I just haven't posted on it. But I gave them all like Viking names, Norse gods, or just something that was along those lines. Like Astrid, she wasn't a goddess or anything like that, but it's, my buddy picked it out for me, but I think it means beautiful, and I think it's like Norse for beautiful. So, I have 6 tattoos. I've been tattooed 7 times because I redid one of them. But I have 6 tattoos. I have more tattoos than my husband because my husband has 0. And I always seem to be the one in the relationship with the tattoos, or at least more tattoos. So I guess we can now say 43 things. I used to be in beauty pageants. I worked for a modeling agency when I lived in Virginia. My dad was in the military. And I used to do beauty pageants. Definitely nothing like what they are nowadays. Because holy crap on a cracker. That shit's intense. Like, watching toddlers and tiaras. Like, are you serious? Like, no. I loved it. I loved being a model. I loved doing beauty pageants. Definitely it was like one of my favorite things, except for the interview process. I still hate that. Like, going into interviews, I'm like, oh no. So that usually is what got me. Let's see. Because of that, I was almost in a commercial. I've got a lot of almost, guys. Like, a lot. Because I panic a lot. So, almost in a commercial, and the only reason I wasn't, so we had like a fashion show thing, and from there the people that were doing the commercial were going to decide who was going to be in the commercial. I had fallen off of a block wall the day before, because this was back in the 80s and kids went out and we played, and even though I was a model and doing beauty pageants and all that stuff, I was still out with the boys, out with my friends, doing me, doing life. So my mom, like, literally I had my wrist wrapped up, and just before I went out onto the stage, my mom unwrapped my wrist. So got the call back that they wanted me in the commercial. I was out playing with my friends. I was pushing like those really old school, rickety ass, flimsy ass plastic lawnmowers. Like, if you grew up in the 80s, you knew exactly what I'm talking about. I was pushing a friend on that, and I tripped and fell, and I slammed down onto my wrist, and I broke it. So I think actually my wrist wasn't sprained, it was cracked, and then the impact of falling just broke it. And because my wrist was going to be in a cast for 6 weeks, I was not able to do the commercial. And I'm not really sure why I didn't try to do anything after that, but that was my break, and I broke it. I was 6 when I did that, and I've also sprained both of my ankles. I was almost 8 when I did that. And it was at the same time, and I walked myself home because the person that did it was like, oh, I'll carry you. Sir? No. Like, you just hurt me. You think I'm dumb enough to let you freaking carry me? Your rabbit ass mind. Let's see. I have had 6 surgeries. I, as you know, am an affiliate. Well, okay, so I call it an affiliate because I don't have product, so I use it, I work it more as an affiliate for Synagents as well as Skinny Mixes. If you watch my podcast, we have a segment, that was the word, where we talk about what's in our cup. So it's usually something, well, it always is something where we're using Skinny Mixes. I was an affiliate at one point for mixers, and I tried to figure out if I still was, and I sent an email and I haven't heard back, so maybe at some point I will be an affiliate for them as well. I have been a makeup artist for 25 years, in the film and TV industry for 12. That's something I talked about on the last video. Oh my gosh, guys. Okay, I've never used Roseberry. Like, I literally just opened this. I got it as a free gift with my purchase back in like freaking October, November. Oh my god, it's so pretty. Look at that. Oh, I love it. Oh. Okay, hold on a minute, guys. If we remember from last time, it takes me a minute because I gotta even out my lips here. Oh my gosh, she is stunning. Roseberry. Oh my gosh, you guys. Gorgeous. Okay, anyway. My breasts are fake, but if you know anything about metastatic breast cancer, then I'm sure you're not surprised. I needed to get these bitches lopped right off. So I did. I do kind of joke because my wedding dress was low cut. And my dad and my husband were like, "Can you put those away?" Bitch, I'm dying for these things, so no, I want to show them off. I am a huge proponent for mental health. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that I myself deal with it. And we're definitely going to address this on the podcast at some point. I know there's like a mental health awareness month or day or something like that, so I gotta look into that and then we'll do it. I've been diagnosed with depression, anxiety, and obsessive compulsive disorders. I'm also ADHD, which is not a mental health issue, but it's still something. So if you feel any of those or been diagnosed with any of those, you are not alone. Don't hide it, talk about it. I hate the stigma that comes with mental health. It sucks. Like, we should be able to talk about what is going on with us. So I love genealogy. I actually have a huge briefcase next to me that has genealogy stuff in it when I was really like hardcore getting into it. Because of that, I have found out that, and actually that was also part of, so my son had a wax museum. Did anybody else's kids do that? That was not anything that I heard until he was in school. And he was given a list of people that he could do. And there is a controversy as to who brought the Baptist religion to the States. It is, in some reports it'll say it was this one guy, which I can't remember their names. And that was actually on my son's list of people he could do. And then there was also another gentleman who was a great uncle, who was also reported to have brought the Baptist religion over. So I asked if he could do that, and his teacher was like, yeah. So he brought the Baptist religion over to the States. He's also on Rhode Island's state constitution. He helped establish the state of Rhode Island. And then we also have a great grandpa, I think his name is Roger B. Conant. And if anybody's been to the Salem Witch Museum, that big ass statue of that guy who wasn't a witch, but he did help establish Salem and like 2 or 3 other cities. That's my great grandpa. You're welcome. He did die though before the Salem witch trials, so like he didn't have anything to do with that, which was kind of like a bummer, but like whatever. But that's my great grandpa. My husband is 13 and a half years younger than me. I turned 45 in October and he will be 32 in a week. Actually, a week from today. Well, today that I'm recording. I've lived in Michigan most of my life, but I've also lived in Arizona 3 times. Florida and Virginia. And because I lived in Florida, my dad was in the Navy. That was when I was learning how to talk. So if I don't watch it and I get around other Southerners, my Southern accent comes out. And actually at work, we had somebody from Mobile, and that is only a half hour from Pensacola. And Pensacola is where I learned how to talk. And so when it comes out, it's a deeper, it's not that sexy Southern drawl that you get from Savannah. It's backwoods. So when he was there, I had to watch how I was talking because it was really going to slip out. It slipped out a couple times. But yeah, I love science for being artistic. I do love the sciences. My original major in school or in college was forensics. I really love forensic psychology, and then I also love the biology part because I love genetics. Like, I'm super, super fascinated with genetics. I had LASIK done 13 years ago. Probably some of the best money I've ever spent. So if you struggle with seeing the world without glasses or contacts, save up your money and get it done. Like I said, it was some of the best money I've ever spent. I am having some issues with seeing, like it's not as clear as it used to be, but I'm also taking medication that does affect your eyesight. So 13 years later, if I wasn't taking this medication, I still would be fine. I mean, I can see, I don't need glasses to see, but things are definitely fuzzy. So it's a great investment. Totally recommend. I believe in ghosts. I'm sure a lot of people are going to be like, why? I'm also sure that there's going to be more people that are going to be like, girl, same. The house that we lived in for 20 years here in Michigan was definitely haunted. For sure. To the point where a friend of mine didn't really like coming over because she knew it was haunted. I do also believe in past lives. It just kind of is one of those things where like I know I've been around. I am a fall girl through and through. However, I do love the beach. And I don't think it's necessarily the beach. I think it's just the crashing waves. They are so calming to me. Like, it doesn't matter what time of year. I just want to sit and listen to the waves crash onto the shore. Being a fall girl, I love Halloween. Favorite holiday. Absolutely love it. By far, best holiday out there. I'm sorry for you Christmas lovers, but Halloween trumps. And then this is where I get basic, where I am a basic housewife. Pumpkin spice. That I can't live without it. My coffee this morning was pumpkin spice. It was pumpkin spice cheesecake because I love it that much. I'm finishing off with Orchid Gloss because it's just got like a nice little pink tint to it, so I figured why not. I'm always running late, which today's episode is case in point. Like, I should have already been recording with Kai. But yeah, so I'm always running late. And the only other thing that I could think of is I had the same car for over 20 years. It was a 2001. I'm pretty certain we got it in like 2002 because it only had like 6,000 miles. So it like was not old at all. And finally sold it to a junkyard 3 years ago this summer because she just was not running very well. I mean, I already had another car at that point, but yeah, it was just time to let Lucia go. So I did. Yeah, I had her for a while, and she ran. I mean, she was still running. She just ran real hot and was really angry when she ran. So that's, what did we come up with? 43 things? 43 things around about me. Here is the completed look. Berry, as I said, is a very hot trend right now. It's, I mean, great for any and all skin tones. You can find berry colors that are going to work. It's a great option if reds are too scary for you or you don't feel you look the greatest in wine colors, which is also really super hot right now too. So here is my take. All the products that I used were Synergents. Yes, they were all Synergents. As I said, I'm a distributor, so if there's any colors that you want to see more of or want to know more about, just drop it in the comments and I will get back to you. Anything else that you want me to ever like talk about, go ahead and drop that in the comments. If there's any of these 43 things, that is you. Let me know in the comments, and if you want to follow me, you can find me on Instagram at the Beast Mode Beaut, and that's BEAUT. I see a paw. I think that's Astrid. You can also find me on Facebook, but you will find that I post more on Instagram. Same thing with Facebook and TikTok, the Beast Mode Beaut. So here is, again, my take on berry makeup. I will see you guys later. Have a great day.